All right, welcome back, everybody. We have another figure to open up and take some cool pictures of. This is actually the first review I've done for the Turtles crossover, the Turtles and Grayskull crossover. Like, I bought some of them. I'm actually not excited about. I wasn't excited about the line. Like, which is weird because there's like the four Mount Rushmores of my childhood are Masters of the Universe, Transformers, and G.I. Joe and Turtles. Turtles came a little bit later. By the time most of these shows are pretty much done. But as far as childhood toys growing up until I really got into superheroes, a lot of us Gen Xers, that was it. And the older Gen Xers didn't really get into Turtles, but I'm like the last. I was born in '80, so people my age, we were still a little bit old, but we really got into Turtles when it came out. So the fact that this crossover happened, I'm like, and being such a fan, but also knowing the mythology and the stories behind these, the figures, it's the most WTF team up ever. Like Transformers and G.I. Joe, man, makes all the sense in the world. Like, makes so much sense for that franchise. But these two, or if you mix Joes or Transformers with Masters, it just wouldn't make any sense. You got barbarians and you got mutant turtles that live in New York sewers. So it was just such a weird team up that they crossover. So I'm just like, well, at least I'll save money, and Mattel can focus on this, and then put out a little less vintage figures, so I don't have to buy so much all at once. And then these started coming out, and I started seeing them, and I'm like, some of these figures are actually pretty cool. This is one of them, obviously. The Krang figure is also awesome. Obviously, Merman, if anybody knows anything about Merman, you can't find those for like under $100, and like the search for those was impossible. I ended up driving something like an hour and 10 minutes. I was already out on a road trip. I stopped at a Walmart, an hour and 10 minutes from my house. I found one. But otherwise, where I'm at, like, they were just gone, because they're army builder. But anyways, we can talk more about that whenever I get around to reviewing that figure. But the Turtles of Grayskull, like I said, doesn't make sense, but holy crap, have they got some good figures. This figure itself, like the Stealth Ninja He-Man, the big selling point for this figure for me is just that cloak. Honestly, if that cloak didn't exist, I'm not sure if I would have bought this figure. It just kept looking at it thinking, I hope I can find a snake head to put underneath that and Kit Bash like a snake man with that. But the pictures I'm going to take today with it are also going to be really rad. It's going to be a little variation of the He-Man She-Ra crossover. I can't think of what it's called, Power of the Sword, whatever it's called. We're just going to kind of do like a mock-up of some of the stuff in that movie with this figure, but and show off a few other Talos 3D printed heads that I got recently. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this figure individually, and just my thoughts on Turtles of Grayskull. Like the Turtles, I don't plan on buying the Turtles. I may just to get the parts for them someday, but like I just don't feel the need to have the Turtles for anything other than kit bashing like civilians with the cloaks. Hordak is another one I'm on the fence about. I see him. He's actually on the shelf. Big Bad Toy Store just makes it so easy to order stuff. And I really like this Hordak, and I just haven't spent the money yet. I'm gonna end up buying them. I'm gonna get an itch to buy some figures, and I'm sure just because I let that sit, I'll end up picking that up. But they're really cool characters, like the figures. The ones that don't make any sense to me, and my perspective is, if I can't use it for normal Masters pictures, I really just don't care that much. But like I said, if I ever come across the Turtles and someday they're like on discount for like $10 or $15 a piece, I could see myself buying them just for the parts. Of course, we got this awesome card art at the top with Samurai Skeletor. He's one that, like, if I get him, it's gonna be for that waist piece, and kit bash him with like a Merman army builder or something like that. But I don't need a Samurai Skeletor. I did buy Beastman, the Samurai version for him for what I just mentioned. I'm going to take some of my Mermans and kit bash them. And then I like to army build Beastman and just kind of do variants of them so we have different societies and stuff. One of my favorite things about He-Man is this, you can have all these different societies. You got the Snake Men, you got the Horde, you got the Evil Warriors, you got the Avians, I think they're called. You got Buzz-Offs, Bee People. You got all these different characters, and they all have all these different societies. So it's like it's not just a team that all sticks together. They all have these societies that they're involved with, and I just absolutely love the idea of a whole world full of all these different races and species and all that other stuff, and it's really cool. I absolutely love Masters. But yeah, card art, we got He-Man and Skeletor fighting with Krang there in the background. Krang's another one where I am just like, God, that is an ugly figure. And then I started looking at it and thinking, if you take Krang out of the middle, and the way they built that figure, you can do that. You got some kind of giant ogre looking thing that looks like a great opponent for any of the Masters, of just a random giant ogre to fight. So I ended up picking him up too. I actually have a massive stack of Masters I haven't gotten to yet, but there's some of them. I got them all divided up. I got all the TMNT ones that I got. I didn't think I was going to buy animated. I have a huge stack. I have all the animated right now, and I haven't opened up any yet. Someday I will ceremoniously open them up and go crazy with all 10 figures or whatever's out right now. But enough about this. Let's set them up and do some cool shots with this figure. Okay, before we take pictures with it, let's take a closer look at him himself. But I mean, look at this cloak. You got this amazing cloak, beautiful cloak, with the blowing effects on the back of it. This is the first time really seeing that. One of the other cool parts is you have the sword. You have a place to put that sword sheath. One of the other things I didn't think about until just opening this now. Actually, let's talk about this the cloak on top too. I like how that cloak, when it comes down, it folds over the cape itself, so you don't have a gap in there. I'm not sure if I've seen a Skeletor cloak, top hood or whatever, that's done as well as this. This is just done very well. But the cloak and the cape, what I'm gonna do with that is I want to see how it looks on some Snake Men, and then if it looks cool on some Snake Men, I may end up buying one or two more of these just to kind of kit bash some Snake Men to grow that Snake Society. The other parts are going to come in useful. Like the one thing I don't like about some of these accessories is his shoulder pad that's just kind of going around right now, and then you see that forearm armor. And you see the knee or the shin guard. They still got that turtle print on it, which for the line makes sense. But if I'm just doing kit bashing these guys and adding them to, say a kit bashed Beastman or a kit bashed, Snake Man or something like that, just to grow that society. Or even you can even use this for Fisto or somebody that's kind of trying to be in disguise. I may end up buying a couple more of these just to be able to have that ability to do that whenever I want to. And then, that foot. I like that they have this Ravage look to him with his right foot with his toes sticking out. And I'm like, well, why didn't they battle damage more of him? And then when you really look at the figure, it's like He-Man doesn't wear any clothes. So it's kind of funny. The only thing they can really expose that makes sense, because the gauntlets don't make sense, but you have his toes sticking out of one side of his boot. I do kind of like that. That's another thing. You can use that to kit bash, civilian characters or something like that, to have that foot. That's pretty fun. But the one other thing that I noticed with this figure is you look at that muzzle. How cool is that muzzle gonna look? I get 2 or 3 of these. You put that muzzle on some Beast Men and then put them in chains, and then they're captured. It'll work perfect for something like that. Just having another kind of accessory where you can use it for, like I said, muzzled for Beastman, to where they got him captured, they may have him chained, but you always got to worry about him taking a bite out of you. It'll look really cool on in a picture. So yeah, this, for being just a variant, usually I don't get too excited about variants for mainline heroes, whether it's mini mates or whether it's masters. But that accessory, the accessories on this figure and the look of this figure for being a weird crossover, this is just like, 10 out of 10. Like, I really love this figure. You can get excited about this figure. So I just kind of wanted to go over that with him. Just like I said, great figure. So actually, let's see how that hood and the muzzle and everything else works on Beastman and maybe a Snake Man. All right, so we got a few figures out here. They work. The muzzle works really good for that figure. His head's a little wide. I probably should have used the classic Beastman head because I don't want to stretch out that muzzle. But yeah, imagine like this Beastman with that muzzle on chains being escorted somewhere either by horde troopers or by Eternian guards, which like I said, it's just one of the things I like with this is it's not just like all these factions are bad guys or good guys and that they only team up on their side. The Avians and the Bee People fight. The Hordak, there's no reason for Hordak not to be fighting the evil warriors or Snake Men. So I could throw this muzzle on a Beastman and have him chained up, and it could be in front of Hordak, it could be in front of the Snake Man, it could be anything, So I can't express how much I love why and how much I love Masters. Someday I got to finish these figures. I got like 4 or 5 of these customs that need to be painted or finished out. You look at him, he needs black underwear, which I do have, and then he needs to have that yellow on the right side painted. We have a pretty cool custom Beastman. And then the cloak. The hardest part with the cloak was finding a proper Snake Man where it looked normal. I tried like the Rattler head. I tried Fangor head. Fangor head probably worked the next best, but Fangor, it's just his teeth sticking out of the cloak, if you can imagine that. Like this isn't Fangor. This is one of my customs, but the squeeze or clawful, not clawful, Lord Grasp figure, that works the best. So someday what I'll end up doing, I'm sure, is I'll come across another Lord Grasp. I don't know how hard he is to find. He was impossible to find for a while. But hopefully I can find him, or else get a squeeze, pop the head off, and then kit bash the rest of the body so we have like a different Snake Man and with this cloak. So it would just look fantastic, I think. So yeah, that's this figure's for as unoriginal as this figure, or not, for being another He-Man, it sure is a cool character. I got this mini comic. I forgot to put it in the background. I'm gonna read it real quick here. All right, so I read it. It actually isn't too bad. It's nonsensical, of course, but then how sensical is like actual mutant turtles? But yeah, it's all right. It's kind of fun. The turtles. I'm reading this out of order too. There must have been like another wave before this one. So like I don't open stuff just for when I I don't order stuff chronologically. I basically have my stack of figures. Specifically this stack of figures right here. I have all this stuff to work through. And really, I just kind of do it whenever I get to it. Like I look at one figure and I go, wow, that would kind of make a cool picture in my head, and I take it out. But it's a shame, like I haven't opened up so much of this stuff. All the animated stuff is there. We got that Too Bad custom set, where they each come separately. I really need to take the time and get these guys out and just bust them out because it's so much fun taking pictures of them. And they would look so much better on a shelf instead of on my floor just sitting there. I actually have a ton of work to do on my shelving, which hopefully I'll get to this weekend, but and organizing, just displaying these guys. But I really need to get through that stuff just because I'm leaving out so many different things that are just amazing figures. So anyways, enough rambling. Let's get on to that cool picture I was talking about. All right, so we got him set up. This is kind of a throwback to the Secret of the Sword cartoon where She-Ra gets involved, is introduced, and He-Man's in Etheria, and he's he gets confronted by the Horde soldiers, and he ends up beating them up and then getting their costumes. So yeah, we got him sitting there. We got 2 Horde troopers that are checking him out. They probably see the sword hanging out of his back. He may have a good disguise, but Horde troopers generally don't like it when citizens are walking around with arms. So they're going to confront him, and just kind of confront him, and then we'll see what happens. So let's go to the next shot. All right, so here's the next step in the series of pictures. We had He-Man walking on his own. The soldier sees the sword and decides to confront him, and it's just the 2 of them there. I wanted to get this Talos Creations 3D printed head with the mohawk, a little bit, the side angle of it. The last picture is kind of front on, or head on, or whatever. You couldn't see the shape of it very well, so I wanted to get him just a little bit more prominent in there. I don't know why, but He-Man's actually shorter than these Horde troopers. You'd think that He-Man would be like 6'3" or something, but I suppose that the Horde troopers are wearing armor. But yeah, it's just basically the next step. We're gonna do one more picture with them, and actually this He-Man won't even be in that picture, so we're kind of shorting ourselves with this getup. So let's go to that picture. All right, so yeah, this picture turned out really good for having nothing to do with that accessory for He-Man, the cape and all that other stuff, and not really using that figure, but just making sure there's a sequential picture. This turned out really good. I think it looks very awesome with He-Man's head inside that Horde Trooper's armor. I've had this idea for a very long time and just never did it, and I knew I was going to get to it eventually, but yeah, this turned out amazing. Like, I just really like how this looks. So I think I'm actually going to do one more picture with some He-Man, what do you call it, the accessories, the cape or whatever. I'm going to figure out something to do with them, and just kind of mix things up, just to use them on a different figure is where I'm going with that. So let's do that real quick. Yeah, so here's kind of my fun shot using the accessories from what is it, Stealth Ninja He-Man? Yeah, that's the name of this video. But yeah, using that hood and drape, just kind of to get a civilian Snake Man trying to warn Randor about something or other. But yeah, just this picture turned out really cool. Just using that castle back there. It's undersized, but you can't really tell from these pictures. I am noticing if you look in the very background, you can actually see a top of a Transformers box. So thankfully, I decided to do this video and didn't tear anything down yet. Otherwise, it'd be kind of an eyesore for me. But yeah, just kind of throwing that on there, kit bashing them with a few Snake characters and I think it was a WWF character, on making a pretty cool Snake civilian custom. I kind of want to buy some more Snake Men, just to kind of make more civilian customs. I've never gotten around to it. There's always plenty of Motu to buy, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, just another fun kit bash. So I think that'll be it for this video, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button, and check out the description of the video for my Instagram and Facebook page. We'll see you guys at the next video. Bye now.